Many of our organisations and our activists have been working on this issue for years, really going back the best part of 10 years. When the Republic of Ireland voted yes in the 2015 referendum, a number of the groups, Amnesty, the Rainbow Project, the Irish Congress of Trade Unions, came together to form a new unified campaign. Really, we were inspired by yes equality and committed ourselves to working together till it would become law in Northern Ireland too. And we've stuck at it ever since for the last 4.5 years. We worked, first of all, to get a majority in the Northern Ireland Assembly, and we were successful in making that happen. We mobilised many thousands of people onto the streets of Belfast and Derry and elsewhere. We generated thousands of emails and letters and petitions to politicians here. And finally, a majority in the Assembly did vote for equal marriage legislation, but then the DUP blocked it with a petition of concern. Ultimately, when the Northern Ireland Assembly and Executive collapsed at the beginning of 2017 and it showed no signs of returning, we took our campaign instead to Westminster, and we worked on a cross-party basis to build up support in both the House of Commons and Lords for legislation to deliver equal marriage. The government said they wouldn't do it, that this was a devolved issue, so we worked from the back benches up and we tried to get a private member's bill passed. We got it introduced, but it didn't progress to full legislation, and for some time we have been looking for government legislation to which we could bring backbench amendments. That happened in July. We helped to draft the amendment that brought equal marriage into the Northern Ireland Act that was ultimately passed this summer. And finally, not via Stormont, but via Westminster, we won the day, and today is the day at midnight when we see that change come into effect.
Just can't quite believe we're here today. This means that we're treated equally in society, that our relationship is validated the same way as our heterosexual brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic for all the same-sex couples in the north who want to be married, that they now can be, and they don't have to be pushed into a civil partnership that they never wanted in the first place.
It's a bittersweet day. People that should have been here are no longer here with us, but they're here with us in spirit, and we're just delighted that we finally have the opportunity to be equal in society.
I think what it says to the community at large is that Northern Ireland is moving on from being the last place always on every equality measure, and it's just a really important day for LGBT people in Northern Ireland to be treated as equal citizens.
The first same-sex couples will be able to get married in February of 2020.
Well, we will be upgrading as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's just like we're used 3.5 years now, so it's nice that will be the next step naturally. So yeah, that will be the first thing.
Yeah, we've just bought a house, so we don't exactly, we're not that scared at the moment. So we'll get round to the sub stage, but it's nice to have the options.
I think that's a longer term conversation with the other half. At some point in the future, for sure, not just straight away.
I mean, this isn't just a landmark day on marriage equality, it's also a huge landmark day on abortion legislation. We effectively, as of midnight tonight, have overturned a 158-year-old ban on abortion access in Northern Ireland, and Amnesty International was heavily involved in helping to lead that campaign, working alongside women who have been victims of that oppressive law. And so today is a huge day for reproductive rights for women in Northern Ireland, who will no longer be criminalised, no longer forced to get on planes and boats to go and access healthcare, and they will be able to join people in the rest of Ireland and the rest of the UK who have been able to enjoy this right that up to now has been denied. So this is a red letter day for same-sex couples, for women, and for all of those who have stood with them and been part of this campaign over the last number of years.
I think it's an important day for women, that women have the right to access appropriate healthcare should they need it.
I think for a lot of people, it's an important way of addressing what's been a really hidden issue for such a long time, and people feeling they couldn't talk about accessing the kind of healthcare that they needed to access. And for sure, bodily autonomy is an incredibly important issue for LGBT people, and we're really happy to be able to support that campaign throughout its length as well.
I'm delighted that our sisters in our community and women worldwide, or here in Northern Ireland, will have the opportunity to access safe healthcare.